I want to tell you a really powerful true story today. It's about a moment when a patient's recovery from this huge life-saving surgery took an absolutely terrifying and unexpected turn, and how one simple action changed absolutely everything. Can you imagine reading that on a medical chart? Patient is combative. It just sounds so clinical, right? It paints this picture of chaos, of a struggle. But what that one word doesn't tell you is the sheer terror that was hiding behind it. So, picture this. We're in a hospital room. A patient is just starting to wake up after a surgery that was supposed to save their life. This should be a moment of relief, right? But instead of peace, they wake up to a total nightmare. And look, the stakes here were incredibly high. This wasn't some routine procedure. We're talking about a complicated open heart surgery. This person had just been pulled back from the absolute brink. But then, just when you think the worst is over, something else goes wrong. A severe, totally unexpected allergic reaction kicks in. So now, on top of the trauma of the surgery itself, the patient's own body is in revolt. And to make it all so much worse, the patient wakes up to that terrifying feeling of a breathing tube shoved down their throat. Think about it. You can't speak, you can't call for help, you can't even really breathe on your own. It is a moment of just absolute helplessness. And these are the author's own words describing what was happening. This isn't just being uncomfortable. This is a violent, frightening ordeal where your body is literally trapped, fighting against the very things that are trying to save your life. Panic has completely taken over. But then, right in the middle of all this chaos and violence, something shifted. One single, simple action that became the turning point for this entire experience. And this is where the story actually comes from, so you know it's real. It's an account from Randy Kilgore, a moment so powerful that he just had to share it with the world. In a room filled with all this complicated medical gear and emergency protocols, the solution was, well, it was stunningly simple. It wasn't a new medication, it wasn't some different treatment, it was a human connection. Someone reached out and just held their hand. And you know, it was the quality of that touch that mattered so much. It wasn't a clinical grab or some kind of restraint. No, it was this unexpected gentle squeeze. It was a silent message that just said, "I'm here, you are not alone in this." And the effect was almost immediate. That simple, gentle pressure was enough to slice right through the terror. The violent shaking started to ease up. The frantic struggling stopped. And the panic finally began to fade away. So, what do we take away from this incredible moment? Because the story, it isn't just about a medical crisis. It's really about the profound, almost unbelievable power of comfort itself. You see, for the author, this wasn't just a moment of relief. It was a life lesson. He realized that we're all sort of called to give that same comfort to other people who are suffering, that our own memories of being comforted, well, they can become the very tools we use to help somebody else, and that true, powerful love can be shared through the absolute simplest of gestures. And that right there, that is the heart of it all. In a world that can feel so complicated and overwhelming, we just cannot underestimate the impact of a small act of kindness. Holding a hand, a gentle word, just being present for someone. These things have the power to bring incredible comfort exactly when it's needed the most. So that leaves me with a question for you to think about. Look back on your own life. When has a seemingly small gesture from someone else made a huge, huge difference when you were in distress? It's in those moments, isn't it, that we see the real power of just